Manka learned to count the quiet between messages. In the beginning, silence meant batteries dying or network trouble on Commercial Avenue. Lately, it meant something heavier. Shifts that ran past midnight, promises postponed until after payday, and that tired way Ngong said, "I'm on my way," when the day had already finished without him. They fell in love loudly, over puff-puff and beans at food market, over bikers revving at Mile Toon Quen, under violet lights at Dreamland, where the DJ stitched their names into a chorus. Now love lived in practical things. A motorbike helmet left on her chair, a key she wore on a cord, a green plastic bowl he used for Gary when he got in too late for real food. The quarrel came on a Thursday when Rain was arguing with the Hills. It began with transport money for her mother's clinic visit and arrived at all the things they were afraid to say. "You keep choosing the job over us," Manka said. "You keep asking me to be a man with a pocket I don't have yet," Ngong replied. It got mean in the small ways people who love each other know how to hurt. He slept on the narrow sofa. She faced the wall and listened to ENEO take the light and give back shadows. At dawn, Manka put on her beige coat and cream scarf, the one she wore on days she needed courage, and walked out before the city finished yawning. She did not have a destination, only a direction. Down Sonac Street to the old footbridge where the churning water sounded like a prayer that refused to end. When Ngong woke, the room felt like a cupboard missing its plate. The bowl with last night's gari sat on the table beside a scribbled note. "Mami's appointment at 3 p.m. I will find air." He washed his face in cold water that shocked him into honesty and saw motor oil in the lines of his palms. Then he remembered the envelope, crumpled from weeks in his backpack, holding the fast 2 months payment for an online IT support course. He had not told her. He wanted to arrive one day with a certificate in a cheap frame and say, "See, I brought us a door." He feared promising and failing in the same breath. He took the envelope and left. At the bridge, mist floated like unmade decisions. Manka watched the river slap stones until they shone. People passed. Students late for class. A woman balancing smoked fish. A boy with a bag of bread calling, "Paying, paying." She typed a message and erased it. "I don't want to be your waiting room." She was still rewriting the second line when footsteps stopped beside her. The quiet shifted. She smelled engine oil and rain. "I brought breakfast," Ngong said, holding up 2 meat pies and a bottle of top. He did not reach for her. He stood like a man in the doorway of a church, inside the threshold but not yet forgiven. They ate standing, the bridge humming beneath. "I'm tired of being the last thing after everything," Manka said. "I'm tired of being the wallet everyone prays into," he answered, a small smile he didn't mean on his mouth. Then he shook his head. "That sounded wrong. I'm scared. That's the real thing." "Of what?" "Of failing loudly. Of saying I'll make us steady and then making us sorry." He put the envelope in her hand. She opened it and saw the photocopied schedule, the fee breakdown, the small arithmetic of hope. "You were going to do all this alone?" she asked. "I wanted to land the plane before I told the passengers," he said, "but I forgot you are not a passenger." "I would have sat in the cockpit with you," she said, almost laughing. "Even if I can't fly, I can read the fuel gauge." They stood shoulder to shoulder, not quite touching. The river bullied past, as honest as fear. "I also do my own hiding," Manka said. "I make stories in my head where you pick the bike over me on purpose. It's easier to be angry than to say I'm lonely." "I'm here," he said. "I need you to be here before we are in an argument," she replied. They made small plans because small things carry big days. 2 evenings a week, phones face down. A shared calendar stuck on the wardrobe with tape. Clinic money first, meat pies later. He would message what the delay is, not just "on my way." She would say, "I need time with you," before the need hardened into a test he could only fail. By noon, the mist lifted. They didn't declare a new chapter with fireworks. They walked to the clinic and held Mommy's bag between them. After, they returned to the room that had been a battlefield last night and turned it into a workshop, printing his course outline at the cyber cafe, labeling a brown envelope "tuition," placing it by the TV like a promise that would glare at them until kept. In the evening, the hills blued as if the day wanted to apologize for being so heavy. They sat on the balcony with a single blanket, listening to a far radio play Makossa that knew too much about love. "Thank you for meeting me at the bridge," he said. "Thank you for telling me where you're going, not just when you'll come," she said. A bike coughed on the road and kids shouted at a ball. Somewhere, Dreamland's lights were warming up. Inside their room, the envelope watched them and did not blink. They smiled anyway. In the dictionary they were writing together, later now had a map.
Hey my people! How wanna see the story we wanna just watch? If it's sweet wanna, I bet click that like button and subscribe.
This one are proudly sponsored by the CEO of Dreamland for Bamenda for Inside Cameroon, where enjoyment no the ever end.